obviously, has to be pertaining to any kind of money. It has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, definitely has to do with money. One, two. I think Manny Pacquiao. I think his C game is a lot better than a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. He didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch.
What are your thoughts on the fight and just Pacquiao coming out of retirement?
Well, no, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, being that they both have connections with TBC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, getting another title opportunity, just the name obviously, but I really believe that Pacquiao will be fighting. I think this action is going to be a little.
While some boxing professionals are siding with Manny Pacquiao for his experience and pure boxing skills, others are backing Mario Barrios for his youth and agility. But let's hear them out. Boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard told TMZ Sports that he's firmly in Pacquiao's corner.
Faith and any advice on him doing things a certain way that maybe you found you did a mistake or
You know what? When I came back that one horrible time, it was all me. It was my mindset. It was the way I felt. I believed I could win. I trained hard, but you know what? I won't do it again. You know what I mean? I won't do it again.
Some folks are concerned about Pac-Man heading into this fight for two main reasons. The age gap. Barrios is 30 while Pacquiao is 46, and Pacquiao's long absence from the sport while serving as a senator in the Philippines. However, Sugar Ray Leonard, widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, says none of that matters because Pacquiao can and will do whatever he sets his mind to, and he fully supports him. There's not one thing that will really make people understand why we do what we do, Sugar said. But you know what? God bless, stay healthy, and take care. Keep in mind, this is coming from Sugar himself, who came out of retirement to fight in his 40s after a 6-year hiatus.
Well, I can't tell someone don't do that. But, I made too many comebacks.
as for Manny, any advice from him at all?
Just be healthy and do what you think you can. It's a hard thing to ask.
Take that away from somebody. Right? Kind of take it away from somebody. Kind of got to find out what's there, right?
Absolutely.
I've made more comebacks than anybody, Sugar Ray Leonard said. I hold the record, undisputed. Meanwhile, Amir Khan, who was once linked to a potential fight with Pacquiao during his own career, warned the former multi-weight world champion against returning for the Barrios fight. It's a fantastic fight for Mario. He needs that big opportunity. He'll be paid well and get to fight a legend like Manny Pacquiao. Who would say no to that? Khan told Sky Sports. Mario deserves this fight because every fighter dreams of that big payday. It will be fantastic.
Manny was like, shall we do a fight? Shall we do a fight? Shall we, like, he's quite serious about it. He was like, shall we make a fight happen? I go, listen, if you can get a funder, if you can get someone like a Turkey Yellow Sheikh on board, then why not?
There's no, I mean, that must be able to be made that.
Yeah.
I mean, surely.
You do that for the right money, right?
Massive, look, we've had our best days. And I think a fight like that would definitely sell. I mean, Manny having a massive
Speaking about
Philippines.
Barrios, Khan noted, when Virgil Hunter and I were training together, I used to spar with him quite a lot. He's a very good boxer. I don't know how much Manny has left in him. If both were in their prime, I'd pick Manny Pacquiao all day, but this could be a tricky fight for him. Khan added, at the end of the day, he's been out of the ring for a long time, and the question is, does he still have that fire in his belly? Barrios, I'm sure, is coming in hungry to win because this fight could change his life. For Pacquiao, at his age, facing a 29-year-old world champion after such a long layoff is a risky move. You're always just one punch away from getting hurt. I'm sure Pacquiao has a great future ahead of him.
Manny having a massive Philippine fan base, and all around the world really. And then obviously myself, I've got a decent fan base as well. So I think it would definitely sell, and people would like to see. When people make comebacks, I mean, people always like to see them see how the fight's going to be. And me and Manny are probably in the same position. We've both been retired for like 3-4 years. I think it will make a good fight.
And you're only 38 as well, man. So we've seen boxers older than that getting back into the ring.
Turn against someone who's already retired, someone like myself, for example, because then it's an even matchup. But when you go up against a young, active fighter who's still boxing, it can be dangerous. Highlighting Barrios' talent and hunger, he added, Barrios, I'm sure, is going to come in determined to win because this fight can change his life. While acknowledging the excitement of such a bout, Khan urged caution, reminding Pacquiao, you're always just one punch away from getting hurt, and advised him to consider a safer option.
Still at a good age where you certainly could box again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at George Foreman, the late George Foreman. He was a great champion, and he came back. I think he must have been in his late 40s when he come back and won a world title as well. So, look, in boxing, it's always that one punch. And at the same time, though, guys, is that I look back and think, do I need to get back in the ring?
Opinions on Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring seem to vary widely. While Alicia Baumgardner is confident that the 46-year-old Pacquiao could defeat the 29-year-old Barrios, Amir Khan has urged caution. What are your thoughts on the matter? Speaking at a media scrum, Terrence Crawford was asked to share his view on the rumors surrounding the Filipino legend's comeback after a 4-year hiatus. His response was brief. I don't know. We shall see.
Rumor going around this week that Manny Pacquiao is going to return. What do you make of that?
I don't know. We shall see. I don't know.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
I can't say if he's too old or not. If you get in there and win, then everybody will be saying different. So I don't put no limit on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao.
Bud was then asked if he believes Pacquiao is now too old to face someone like Barrios. I can't say if he's too old or not, he replied. If he gets in there and wins, then everybody will be saying something different. So, I don't put any limits on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao. Meanwhile, Hearns Matchroom Boxing, which currently promotes Jaron Ennis, the unified IBF and WBA welterweight champion, is facing difficulties in securing a unification bout with WBO titleholder Brian Norman Jr.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots. Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up. People still complaining.
A reputable news source asked Hearn if he would try to arrange a unification fight between Pacquiao and Ennis, should the 46-year-old Pacquiao defy Father Time and defeat Barrios. I mean, 1, he won't beat Barrios, Hearn said, and 2, I'm not going to stand here with my righteous hat on and say it's an absolute disgrace that Pacquiao's fighting, but I just can't believe you can literally disappear from boxing for 5 years, be 46 years old, and then expect to be considered a top contender. I think that's disrespectful. You're not a fighter, you can just phone the governing body and say, stick me in at number 5, mate. It's like, at least put him at 14. Do you know what I mean? Why would you put him at 5? Why would you put him in at all?
Manny Pacquiao, getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, it definitely has to do with money, 1. 2, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his feet game is a lot better than a lot of guys' age, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. He didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch.
He is not only doubtful about Pacquiao's chances against a younger, fresher opponent, but has also learned from his past experience trying to arrange a fight involving Pac-Man 3 years ago. I think it was Manny Pacquiao who approached us about fighting Conor Benn, Hearn said. Ben's best win at the time was probably Chris Algieri, so it wasn't for a world title. We hadn't really beaten an elite, world-class fighter yet. I mentioned we were looking to set it up about 2 years ago, and I think they even had a face-off. I got absolutely ridiculed for it. People said I was a disgrace for letting Pacquiao fight, even though he was 44 years old then. Now he's 46, and fighting for a world title.
Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times.
Barrios would see Pacquiao break his own record for the oldest welterweight champion and become the second oldest boxer to win a title at any weight. Bernard Hopkins holds the record for oldest champion after defeating then IBF light heavyweight title holder Tavoris Cloud at age 48 in 2013. Hopkins also further unified the 175-pound titles at age 49 when he dethroned WBA champion Beibut Shumenov in 2014. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman gave the bout his blessing while attending the Saul Canelo Alvarez vs. Billy Joe Saunders event in Saudi Arabia over the weekend, describing it as a great fight. The T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas has been lined up as the venue, but Pacquiao wants to wait until after the upcoming elections in his homeland before making a final decision and announcing his plans. The 46-year-old, who has not fought since his defeat to Yordenis Ugas in August 2021, is in a tight race for a seat in the Philippine Senate, with voters going to the polls on May 12th. Manny feels good and believes he still has it in him to compete at that level. He feels he can still fight 2 or 3 more times this year, next year, and maybe even in 2027, a source close to Pacquiao told the
Pacquiao, already the oldest fighter to ever hold a welterweight title, defy the odds and break his own record by reclaiming championship glory. With a professional record standing at 62 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws, including 39 victories by knockout, Pacquiao is taking what may very well be his final gamble in a career defined by bold risks and historic triumphs.
It is understood that Pacquiao is already in training and is unfazed by the short turnaround between the elections and a potential July 19th bout. He insists he only needs a 30-day camp and sparring to be ready and plans to travel to the U.S. to reunite with longtime trainer Freddie Roach at the Wildcard Gym in Los Angeles. A bout against Barrios has been discussed for some time, and Pacquiao has been keen to bring the fight to the UAE. He considers Dubai his second home, holds a golden visa, and has held talks with the Abu Dhabi Sports Council about staging the Barrios fight in the UAE.
While Barrios, aged 29, enters the fight with a record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 18 of those victories coming by knockout. As the countdown to July begins, fans worldwide prepare to witness a captivating cross-generational battle. An aging legend chasing one last piece of history against a champion determined to make his own mark.
Last November, Pacquiao put on a show for thousands of fans at Global Village before returning to celebrate the new year at the Burj Khalifa. He has numerous business ventures in the UAE and plans to open both a boxing museum and academy in Dubai. We are working right now. Probably after this week we can finalize everything for the fight here in Abu Dhabi, Pacquiao told The National in January. We are still negotiating. We were planning to fight in the United States in July. But why not here? Bring Barrios here. It's going to be the 3rd week of July in Abu Dhabi for a world championship. We have had talks with his promoter. However, as Pacquiao later revealed, the fight is indeed scheduled for the 3rd week of July but will take place in Las Vegas, with the PBC eager to stage the event stateside.
Manny Pacquiao retiring, fighting Mario Barrios. Do you like that fight? And if so, how do you see that fight going?
Look, Manny Pacquiao is a different animal. Hey, Manny, Tom Brady, come out of retirement all the time. He does what he does. He's Manny Pacquiao. Yes, you worry about him. He's facing a young gun, the guy that's fighting at the best in his ability right now. And Barrios, yeah, you worry about that. Barrios is a really good boxer.
Bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back for this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. That Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao.
If Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring for the first time since 2021, it would mark the 30th year of his record-breaking career, which began when he debuted at age 16 in 1995. Pacquiao holds several world records, including being the only boxer to win a world title in 4 different decades. He also served as a senator of the Philippines from 2016 to 2022. After this surprising news broke earlier in the week, former undisputed welterweight champion Terrence Crawford shared his thoughts on Pac-Man's sensational comeback. So guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more updates and news. Thank you for watching my video.